Hey guys, it's Beauty Queen and welcome back to my channel. In today's video we're going to be reading Triple Moon and we're on chapter 4. I have a playlist with the prologue, chapter 1, 2 and 3 up in the cards. If you guys want to watch it, I make a bunch of other videos if you're not interested in booktube reading. And let's just get started. Chapter 4. Royals. You spilled raspberry fruit goo on my Alexandra McQueen top. This was one of the last pieces he designed before he killed himself. Molly looked desperately down at the large spot spreading over her neckline and glared at Henry. This piece, she said, her voice trembling with indignation, is a treasure. At least it was a treasure. Molly recoiled to a safe distance from the boy's filthy hands. He squealed with delight at her distress. The organic red smudged dripped down his chin. At least he was contained in his high chair and couldn't come after and do more damage. Matt, Ingrid, Joe and Mary all moved around the kitchen island as if nothing had happened, making macaroni and cheese, homemade, never from a box. She nibbled on the remains of the underlying delicious strawberry rhubarb pies that Ingrid and Joe had baked to welcome the twins in their house. Nobody seemed remotely concerned that this devil in diapers had just ruined a priceless top. One of the inch pins of Millie's wardrobe, a classic in cream and black striped silk with a built-in corset. McQueen had designed it expressively for his muse, Annabella Nelson. There were only 3 in existence: Annabella's, Gislin's, Gisley's, and Molly's. Molly was in shock, and the no magic in the house rule meant that she couldn't do anything to lift the stain until she got outside, by which time it would probably be too late for her powers to save the situation. Matt and Ingrid were going to a party that night at Fairhaven, which they described as a glorious historic mansion on its private island facing the town. Gondina's Island, it was called, after the Gardiner family, the oldest and wealthiest of North Hampshire clans. Supposedly, the house had just undergone a fabulous renovation, and this party was to be in the unveiling. There was at least 300 people invited. Matt and Ingrid hoped the girls wouldn't mind if they went out on the night of their arrival, but they couldn't resist the chance to see what the Gardiners had done with the place. Molly couldn't believe she was going to have to sit at home with these kids while there was a party going on, where she actually might be able to show us some of her wardrobe and a bit of fun. But only a few hours in this godforsaken place, she'd already feeling totally deprived, affecting dignity in the face of her tragic situation. She announced that she was going upstairs to her room to change into something more appropriate for the evening at home. While she started towards the staircase, she was struck by a brilliant idea, if obvious idea. Hey, she said, Ingrid and Matt, you really don't need both of us babysit, do you? I mean, I'm sure Lindy could handle it. She's great with kids. She tells awesome stories. You don't mind if I come with you, right? Meet some people. It's not like I'm going to hang out at the skanky North End bar. The North End is where my sister Freya works, said Ingrid matter-of-factly. Molly felt Mandy's hard black eyes on her, scornfully and victorious. Mandy loved it when Molly made a fool of herself. Needless to say, it was mutual. Well, I'm sure it's a cool bar, Molly tried to backpedal. I mean, how can it not be? All I'm saying is that I'd love to check out Fairhaven and meet some people. She was really thinking about what she would wear. She could see that Ingrid and Matt weren't going to mind. It all hinged on her sister now. Ingrid stirred a little lump of butter into her whole wheat penne with grilled cheese and poured the mixture into an earthenware baking dish. Well, I suppose it's fine with us, right, Matt? He nodded, sprinkling breadcrumbs freshly crashed from a day-old baguette into his wife's pasta mixture. They really were a team, thought Molly. Bummer that it would only last a few decades. What was Ingrid thinking? Models were to be played with, but not married. Hadn't Ingrid gotten the memo? Wasn't she supposed to be the smart one here? Do you mind if I go, Mandy? Molly asked testfully. Do you think I want to go to some silly gaspy style party? When I made the finger down throat gag me sign. Okay, thanks. I'll go get dressed for you. But you owe me one. Mandy's voice followed her up the stairs. Molly decided on a buttery suede miniskirt that zipped up front and back. Purchased this past spring during a long weekend in Paris. Day had taken her along on a business trip, but of course had no time for her. I found the first mistake! For those who don't know, this is a first edition, and there is no little, normally when you write, like, had, you'd have, like, something in between it. Otherwise, like, things count as a spelling mistake. But of course, had, and without the little thing. So, she's made a mistake. I mean, I don't know if that was on purpose, but in most writing people, you know to put a little line. I mean, anyway. Had no time for her and had given her his credit card to assure her his guilt. Such an easy target, her father. So much guilt for never spending any time with them. She paired the skirt with a simple blush-coloured silk top and silver moles that her personal shopper had sourced for her from an image she had seen in Italian Vogue. Oh my god. As Molly, Ingrid and Matt crossed the bridge to Gardiner's Island in the family maroon Subaru wagon, Molly's spirit lifted. The dunes surrounded the mansion of Fairhaven were lit up in a fairy gold with giant torches. The house itself burned bright and beckoned. This might not have been such a lame summer after all. After a valet whisked their car into the twilight, they stared up at a blazing path bordered with iridescent white peony bushes in full blossom. The crowd, Molly noticed immediately, was well dressed for the most part, in a clubby, preppy sort of way. Not too shabby. This was more like it. Through large picture windows, she could see what looked like a ballroom hung with chandeliers, alight with wax candles. Somewhere out of view, a band softly tuned its strings. A rogue flute thrilled and then went silent. As a waiter handed Molly a flute of champagne and she waved away a tray of hors d'oeuvres, she felt a pair of eyes gazing upon her with startling intensity. She blushed inside. Before she knew it, a graceful hand had whisked away her glass and handed her another. His champagne had fewer bubbles than the first. The colour was darker, more like honey than wine. "Try this instead," came a secure voice. "It's vintage. You're much too beautiful tonight to be drinking brot." "Too beautiful tonight," Molly's flirting instinct surged. She flipped back her silky curtain of blue-black hair to look squarely at her includer. Why only tonight?" "Not only tonight, but especially tonight." The voice belonged to a stunning young man of about 17. He was olive-skinned with jet black hair and tousled cheekbones. His blue eyes twinkled in a startling contrast to his dark features. He wore a navy blazer over a bespoke shirt of white linen with a discreet monogram on his cuff, the initials T.G. in delicate silk and the deepest red. Could he be one of the Gardiner's brothers who owned Fairhaven? As if reading her thoughts, he introduced himself. "Welcome to Fairhaven. I'm Tristan Gardiner. Call me Tris." Molly overbroke. She held out her hand to him to shake. She was surprised to find herself a tad nervous. Usually she was the one who intimidated all the boys, but Tris was overly cool, calm, and glorious. While she had butterflies in her stomach, he was so formal yet so familiar. As she clicked her champagne flute with him, her hand trembled ever so slightly. "Beautiful house," she managed. "Yes, it's wonderful to come back to. My family was away from it for ages, until about 10 years ago. Fairhaven was a relic. There was no one on this island except the Ossories who nested all over our beaches. They still do make their home here, of course." He was in boarding school in England, and his older brother had overseen a couple restoration of the house and grounds. They were off again, travelling the world, and he lived in the house with his stepmother. He gestured it a few feet further up the torchlit path to a mostly groomed old woman wearing a summery channel suit and two-tone pumps, who was deep in conversation with Ingrid and Matt, most likely about finishers and light fixtures. So Molly asked, "How are you dealing in Northampton? Is there anything to do here?" He looked over her appreciatively, her glistening blue-black eyes crusading hair calf muscles taunt into silver moles. It was as if he was sculpturing a masterpiece with his sharp blue eyes. Molly had never felt quite so beautiful, and that was saying something. He repeated her question. Is there anything to do here? His smile was both wicked and winning. Well, there certainly is now that I've met you, Molly Overbrook. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Definitely check out the other chapters if you haven't already, otherwise you might get a bit confused. And check out my other videos as well. I make a number of videos in AuthorTube and just like beauty stuff and all of that kind of stuff. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!